Hello folks, this is Yamil Sued from Gunstar Reviews. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona at the headquarters of Enloe Custom Gunsmith Marty. How you doing, bud?
Good.
We're having too much fun here today. We're going to talk about an original Belgian Browning high power, but before we do that, I'd like to ask you to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so when we continue to bring you content like this. Marty, we have this early 1960s, post 62, because that's when they changed the extractor on the high power. Browning high power, real Browning. It says here made in Belgium. It says Montreal, so it's also Canadian, but made in Belgium. Browning high power belongs to Sasquatch back there. Yeah, Dave is that big. Okay, so this one is an interesting pistol. It's part of his family, and originally I was kind of apprehensive to tell him to customize it. The only thing we changed, we put this nice wood grips with palm swells on it. These are not real Spiegels, but similar.
Okay.
And we tried it, and it's a really accurate pistol. I shot it at 10 yards, and it was incredibly accurate.
Okay.
The sights suck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, because there's a little bump in the front and the standard rear sight.
Yeah, not much bigger than the 1911 sights. Yeah.
Than the 1911 World War II sights.
World War II sights. Yeah.
Okay, and of course the part that there's a couple of things that do bother me. First, the trigger
mag disconnect.
Mag disconnect. It sucks. But if you look at the way this pistol goes, this thing bites, especially with the ring hammers. This is nasty. So what we're going to do to it is we're going to get the kit from Apex Tactical. It's a new trigger kit that Apex has that includes a new trigger, a new, how do you call that lever?
The sear lever.
Sear lever.
Yeah.
Sear hammer, which is a no-bite hammer. Okay. And I think it includes some springs too.
Okay.
Then originally I didn't want to, let's try that first, okay? Then if Dave can shoot it without bleeding, then if he bleeds, put a Band-Aid on him and bring it back and let you put a beaver tail on it like you did with my pistol.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay? But let's try that first because I mean, for me, the Apex trigger works perfect.
Okay.
But my hands are normal.
Well, you know, as far as the Apex, that's a new product. That have you shot one, or you've only seen them?
No, I've seen it and dry fired it.
Okay.
So I'm going to the range with it here
very soon. Okay.
Very soon because it's past prototype.
Okay.
They're gonna have. They originally designed that for the Springfield SA-35.
Okay.
But it fits this pistol without problem.
Right.
So they also are making a magwell. 17-round magazines for a gun without a magwell, and 19-round magazine for guns without a magwell, and 17 and 19 for guns with their magwell, which is kind of cool because with his mitts too, the magwell helps him, you know, adds a little bit of space to it. And I guess they told me it's a new company making grips for his magwell, G10 grips, that are pretty cool too, that have palm swells and all that kind of happy stuff. And like I said, their trigger doesn't have the mag disconnect. So we're going to go ahead and do that and then test fire it, let him fire it, and then we'll decide whether you want a beaver tail or not. Now, what we're going to do too is the sights. I'm going to see if I can get some SA-35 sights. Okay. Because the front sight is, you know, your standard white dot dovetail. Easy to make a nice dovetail for it and run it. And number two, get the rear sight that I don't think that you need to do too much cutting like a Novak does.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if anybody other than Springfield makes specific sights for the SA-35. I'm assuming somebody probably will come along.
XS makes rear sight and front sight for the SA-35. But they're tritium.
Yeah, well, okay. You know, if you're planning on carrying one, which you know, some of the older guns. I mean, I do know people who carry high powers. They're kind of a little more. I'll say safe queens a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I mean, because they customize. But the thing is about the high powers, they're actually pretty reliable, and they shoot really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have a pretty low bore axis. But I guess one of the problems with them is that like that one. You're correct. I don't have his hands as big as Dave's over there, and it's like, okay, every time I shoot with one of those ring hammers, glove or not, it opens my hand up every time we shoot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is like here. I'm looking at this thing.
Yeah.
And this hammer is on my skin in 2 places. No, more than 2 places.
Yeah.
I would be bleeding all over the place by grabbing this gun the correct way.
Well,
high grip.
it's funny. I mean, I can see how it's pinching your hand there. I can hold it to where it's not pinching. My hand is not riding up over the end there. And even then, it always amazes me when I shoot it. It's like, oh yeah, bleeding right away.
Yeah. So this is a great pistol to do really cool Marty mods onto it. Because I was telling Dave,
Maybe stipple
the back, stipple the front, change the parts. Maybe, oh heck, maybe NP3 the frame.
We could, yeah.
Yeah, because, he's back there nodding, maybe. NP3 the frame and make it into a really good showpiece of a custom, one-of-a-kind Browning high power. Because actually, believe it or not, the new FN high power, HIGH, I looked at it. It is not high power. And I know some people who like it, who love it, love the way it holds. I don't know. I'm being an old FUD here, an old boomer. They're going to call me boomer, FUD, you name it. Okay, I admit it. I am that.
It has some, you wouldn't be able to interchange anything out of a high power into the new FN high power. No. And I've never fired one of those either. I have handled them. I have seen them. In fact, I've seen a sample of one. And they have similar qualities as far as kind of how the mechanism works, but it is not a high power.
It's not a high power.
In any respect, it's not a high power.
And the high power, if the high power wasn't such a quintessential classic, you would not have Springfield Armory and Garsan making tons of this dang things. And you wouldn't have companies like Apex making parts for it.
Right.
And, Cylinder and Slide, of course, was the old classic when it's still a classic today. Yeah. In parts for the original high power. They even made for the Tisas, even though that pistol, even though it got discontinued or something.
Yeah, there was a difference in the sear.
In the sear, the hole was bigger.
Well, high powers. We were kind of discussing this earlier, and maybe Tisas had a reason for doing it, but Browning high powers are known to bend their sear pins.
Yes.
And so you can take a sear pin and roll it across the table, and they'll oscillate if they're not straight. Yeah. And that mihave have been something that they were trying to mitigate by putting a larger pin in there.
Yeah. Putting a larger pin. Yeah. So this one here is because at first I was telling Dave that I thought this pistol, let's leave it as is. But the more I look at it, it has some pitting, wear. This gun is old. Okay, this gun could be 60 years old. Is it a gun that is it gonna depreciate that much? Probably not. I think it's gonna be more valuable as a shooter because it is a shooter. Yeah. It is a I shot it as is.
Well. There's nothing uniquely special about it that makes it collector's grade.
No.
It's not a low serial number. It's not it doesn't. It's in decent shape, mind you. Now, customizing it would it destroy the original value, but it also has value as a shooter. So it really makes it. If you can't even pull the trigger on the thing without bleeding, how valuable is it?
No, because you can't shoot it. So it's that. At least it's not one of those abominations from the 70s and 80s that had the goofy sights on it and thing that looked like a compensator with 2 bolts on the side. Whoever came up with that one, should be fired. I think they did fire him after they did that complete and total abomination from Browning. It's the competition pistol. Yeah. No, that thing is nasty. But yeah, let's go ahead and try it. Let's get the parts in. Okay. We're gonna go to Apex, and I know the parts are coming out of the assembly line as we speak.
Okay.
We're gonna drop it off there. They said they'll put them in for us, bring it back, test it, and then we'll do the sights.
Okay.
Because the sights are the most important part, I think, other than the guts to make it shootable.
Sure.
So we can actually shoot it. 'Cause that's one of the things that, even though the sights suck, I can actually shoot it very, very accurately.
Yeah, like I say, they end up being, not only they're reliable, they're actually quite accurate, even with some of the older barrels. I mean, they do shoot quite well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This barrel is, like I said, 60 years old. It is one very accurate barrel.
It's in, like I say, it's not in bad shape. I mean, it's in good shape, but I mean,
and the ergonomics of the high power is top notch.
Yeah.
So,
well, with the exception of the ring hammer.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, we'll get it going. Hey, Marty, thanks a lot for your opinion on it, and I think we're gonna follow your suggestions. Cool, guys. Hey, again, thanks for watching. Please remain healthy, stay safe, and definitely have fun at the range.
Thank you for watching Gunstock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.